Good morning, guys. This is Chris here in Bohol. I'm in a location called Batuan. Now, this is close to Chocolate Hills. There is a falls here called Patungong Falls. There is a Labak River cruise you can take, which is all within probably 5 or 6 kilometers of each other. And you've also got, of course, the falls. There's a couple of falls here actually, here in Labak, Dimiao, and this surrounding areas. So if you really are thinking about where to go, and I have to say I'm surprised about my first expectations of Bohol and other parts of Cebu, Manila, Dumaguete, places like that, even Sikio. I'm finding that there's an awful lot here to see and to do. So in terms of sports, if you're a sporty person, you can do things like diving, scuba, you can do snorkeling, you can do bomb jumping from like rocks, you can jump from falls, you can do zip wiring. There's a lot of stuff. Even in some places further around from where I am now, you can do surfing. So it all depends on really where you want to go. But essentially, if you're looking for a compact holiday area where you have pretty much everything in terms of entertainment, places to go, evening, lifestyle, sports, places of great interest. If you're into churches and historical values, there's a lot of Spanish relics that are left around all over the place, from large churches to small parishes to just ruins of places that have now, not really being looked after as much, but it still has their value. So yeah, I've been here probably about 3 weeks now in this particular island, on this island in Bohol, and I've done from Anda to Ipil to Guindalaman. Then I've done Hagna, or called Jagna. It's actually spelled Jagna, but it's Hagna, and I am pretty much impressed with it. There's only some setbacks that I would point out now, because I think it's important you know this. If you're traveling and you're only here for a couple of weeks, it's not a problem. You just have to put up with some of the brownouts you've got, which is like power outages. Internet can be kind of a little bit flaky, but generally it's okay. It doesn't happen every day or every week. It just happens from time to time, randomly. Things like water shortage. Sometimes you'll find that the water won't be on sometimes of the day, morning, afternoon, whatever, but you just have to plan around it. Get this up, load a bucket up, which tend to be in most of these apartments. Additional to that is traveling around. If you ride a motorcycle, or you wish to risk riding a motorcycle, if you're not a non-cyclist, I would say be very careful, because there's a lot of policemen popping up all over the place doing checks, spot checks, and you can be charged quite a chunk. They might let you off sometimes, but I think it depends on it's just down to their discernment, whether they think they want to get some cash backhanders from you, or they serve you a ticket. You've got to go through all that malarkey. I've seen that happen several times here. So I'm not riding a bike. Later on perhaps I will, but I've seen a lot of foreigners being stopped and people falling off of bikes and being stupid basically, and it's quite clearly you can see they're non-riders. They haven't got any skills or experiences, but they get on the bike as soon as they arrive off the port, and they're out there putting their life at risk. Some of them not even with a helmet, which is mandatory here. Though some of the Filipinos get away with it, they know the system, they know how to work around it. So if you're stupid enough to ignore this and think you're going to just be like a Filipino, just because you're in the Philippines, you're in for a shock. I've met some really nice people, and mainly Filipinos, in fact, or mixed Filipinos, from another country. I've met a lot of Asians, like Koreans, Japanese, Singaporeans, etc., even Hong Kongese and Chinese, and they're good. Foreigners are good, but there seems to be a certain amount of non-compliance from many of these guys, the majority I should say, and they just tend to throw everything to the wind and just act out their passions or dreams or craziness. As I said, this is just a generalization from my experience, and I've been here 6 months to different places. But all in all, I think if you come here with a modicum of common sense. And so you can still enjoy yourself. Nobody's saying you shouldn't enjoy yourself, but just come here and treat the place with some respect. You know, have your fun, just don't abuse or be negative or show derogatory remarks to people, because they don't face derogatory remarks very well. Though they'll smile at you, they'll give you a wide berth the next time, or word goes around. So you need to be smart with that. I'm finding here actually in Bohol as well, the weather changes pretty rapidly. You could have a couple of really nice sunny days, and then you've got the clouds come over and you get some rain, sometimes not a storm as such, but you get a heavy pour. So far right now it's not been anything major, but I like it. It's still quite warm, you can walk around in it, it's great. I like walking in the rain. But I was told by some of the people here, around about September, October, November, you'll find the storms start kicking in. It seems to be an annual thing. So those are the times you may not want to be coming here. It may not be the best time for you, September, October, November, unless you're prepared to put up some storms or some wet days or gloomy days, whatever. But yeah, I set up a new YouTube, because the other one I had, which was Chinese based, has been frozen, and I'm not going to spend time wasting on that. So I'm created a new one, and it's in all about the Philippines pretty much. And I know everybody's doing that, but I'm trying to take such a very different perspective, a very personal one at ground level. I'm not trying to prove how normal or fundamental it is. I'm just being who I am with a South American background. I'm trying to instill that and kind of use that perspective with what I'm seeing here, which is very similar in terms of how we behave as a culture, South American, and here we're Catholics, we have similar family values, etc., etc. So guys, come enjoy yourself. It's brilliant, and the islands, you can hop from one place to another at very reasonable prices. You know, flights, ferries, whatever, buses are cheap, you travel around as much as you like. But I would recommend coming to the Philippines. If you really want to go to Asia and you're not sure where because of language issues, because of course they speak English or Americanized English, you'll find it's pretty much the place to come to get your toes wet in the water and to finalize whether it's going to be a place maybe long term you want, which is what I'm doing. Me and my brother, we're going to set up something. I'm doing a 1 year excursion and research on all the islands to decide where we're going to live. So for me, I'm not in any rush, but I do see people running around doing things like they've got 2 weeks here and they've got to keep going, jump on a bus, go here, whatever. I don't do that. I just choose my places and I go do it, spend the time. So lucky for me. And these people come along and they're enjoying their time, but I see it's just too fast for me. I mean, it's just the pace. I want to just keep it as it is. It's natural pace and work with it. So guys, have a fantastic time. It's now Saturday afternoon, about 12 o'clock midday. I'm going to write some stuff and I will send you some more videos. Thanks for listening to me. It's Chris in Bohol.